What up, crypto lovers and enthusiasts? TGIF, happy Friday. Gonna try to make this video relatively quick. Just gonna go over Bitcoin, gonna go over the week that it's had. All right, okay, we're gonna go over the week that it's had. We're gonna go over how good real world assets have been performing since BlackRock announced their plans to launch a tokenization fund. The rest of the markets have been going pretty much sideways. The rest of my portfolio, although last night, it did reach all-time high thanks to those RWA plays. And then we're going to take a look at my watch list and two buys that I did today on new tokens, LAI, which is Layer AI, and the other one is a new one that was on my watch list, and I just noticed it again today, DNX, Dynex, which looks very interesting as well. Very strong, actually. A little bit higher than where I like it to be as far as a market cap, but still a low cap. So we're going to take a look at that. And so without further ado, let's do this. All right, really quickly, guys, let's do Bitcoin. Bitcoin essentially having a red day. Last couple of red days, we had this green day, and it looks like we had this green day on the 20th, and it looks like we're giving most of it back again. Essentially just going up and down, up and down, up and down. Eventually, we're going to find a point where we're going to try to break it up here. Okay, and I'll show you what I'm talking about with this example. Sometimes when we're trying to get past the area of resistance and we can't do it, it has to drop down so it can get some speed, essentially. All right, think about it like that. So you can get some speed, get some momentum, and then with that momentum, rip through that area that it's been having a hard time with. And that's so far what it's looking like it's doing at these levels. I mean, it is all-time high levels, and it's not out of the ordinary to have it do something along these lines. I think I made a video of it on the previous all-time high at like 20,000 when it was back to it. It took a while for it to kind of break through and get over it. All right, example, look, Leo X. All right, this is a real world asset play, and look at how long it was in this consolidation area since essentially, I mean, this channel since November of 2023, the end of November 2023. Okay, a few times it did it. It didn't really need to go below this, but I mean, for every time, it couldn't make it through. And then this time, right, the most closest time, the most recent time, it had to drop a little bit more than the usual since November 2023, a little bit more than the usual to get enough steam to rip right through. Of course, the other catalyst was the whole BlackRock thing, and that this was in Galileo protocol. This is Leo X, was in the correct narrative, right? Real world assets, and so that helps as well. But I mean, it's something like that. Sometimes it has to drop to get steam to go through area that has been historically strong resistance. Okay, so that's something very similar. And by the way, I was mentioning it to you guys that I bought here and I bought here, and so that was some pretty good buys right there. So I'm up in good profits on Galileo protocol. Thank God for me taking that bet on real world asset plays, guys, because it has really helped my portfolio. Like I mentioned, all-time highs last night on my portfolio, personal all-time high on this particular portfolio. So that's pretty cool, and that's considering the rest of the market, guys. A lot of red. All right, example, Sinverse. Sinverse is what's up? Why nothing is showing up there. Anyway, Sinverse is another example of trying to get through here, right? And it looks like it's dropping to try to get enough steam to try to come back up and finally break through this area right here. This area right here at around 8.018, 8.018. Okay, now back to Bitcoin. All right, well, while I wait for TradingView to get back to normal, essentially it could be that we are dropping a little bit to try to pick up some steam, but really, nothing has really changed for me. We're still essentially just consolidating, right, in a big range, in a relatively big range, right? So until further notice, that's maybe next week. That's going to continue to happen. I mean, today's Friday, so over the weekend, not too much happens, although last weekend we did see some volatility. And so another reason why we are seeing kind of red days, kind of sideways chop. Bitcoin spot ETFs, they're having negative days, 4 of them in a row. Last time we had this was way back in just January 22nd, 23rd, 24th, and 25th, 4 days in a row. And then after those 4 days, we did start having better days, all right, better weeks, and then little sporadic red days. So that's interesting. Hopefully next week will be more like this and not like this. All right. So these outflows, a lot of it has to do with GBTC, Grayscale. They're continuously just selling. Part of it could be because of bankruptcy within Genesis and all that stuff. So other stuff, not necessarily just retail buyers from what I've been seeing. Because retail sellers would probably do less of these numbers. These numbers would have been a little bit lower. They would have been, I think, maybe like this or like this, like this. Anyways, for whatever reason, this is happening, and probably for a number of reasons this is happening. But other entities are still buying. And that's why we're not just dropping precipitously. Okay, and everything finally came back. That's why we're not just dropping like crazy. So we are staying in this zone, and that is showing strength, guys. So that should be positive. Again, look at this as opportunity, right? To buy, to add to your positions, or to get into new projects. Although you have to be really, really careful with new projects, because you're getting into projects already that have moved up. Although I have picked up some new ones that I mentioned to you. Layer AI, I just made another buy this morning, okay, because I can see it's in this triangle. Although we could drop this out of this triangle, it's possible. I'll still be nibbling. I nibbled 2 days ago, and I nibbled again today. And so I bought this green one, and I bought this one. So my average is a little bit better. I did buy Solana 2 days ago on this green day, and it's dropped 2 days in a row. I could buy here if I want, but it's a meme coin, so I'm not going to put too much money in it. I'm just going to wait to see what happens. This is what it looks like on the Bitmart chart, all right? And then this new one that I bought called Dynex looks really good tokenomics. It's been around since the end of 2022. All right, where is this? What does this say right here? No, before this is just on the MEXC chart, the end of 2022, and it has pumped some, right? It's up like 9x from its lows, or 8x from its lows, but I think it's still got a long ways to go. It's at like a $70 million market cap, 90 million fully diluted, a little bit on the higher side for what I personally like, but still it looks pretty good. Supercomputing. I have this on my list to talk more about it, to go over the website and everything with you, as well as Layer AI, the other one. This is more of an AI play. To go over it next week, all right? But I mean, at least you know the names of it: Layer AI and Dynex, DNX. You can do your homework. But I've been looking, guys. Believe me, I've been looking here, right? I do add projects onto my watch list, and I do watch them. Sometimes I forget about them because there are a lot, right? But for example, today I was looking and I saw Dynex again. I'm like, how come I haven't looked at Dynex again, DNX? And I started looking at it again, all right? D-Hub, for example, I haven't really talked about it. Market cap 9.7 million, but the volume 23,000. Okay, so that's why I haven't really done too much in this one. Although I've had it on my watch list for a while, it's just I don't like the volume. Node AI GPUs are hot right now. 90 million market cap, so it's getting close to where I would rather ride it up to 90 million. You know, find it at like 25. Or 15 or 10 or less, right? And ride it up to 90 million market cap, 6 million volume, 6.8 million volume. Good tokenomics, if that's correct. Looks pretty interesting. I did think it was interesting. I did see some buzz on it, but it's just kind of high, just slightly out of where my scope, where I like it. Just mint layers one, but I don't know if those tokenomics are correct. If they are, they're horrible. Looking at the chart, I put it here. I put the chart in here. It's okay. It looks all right. It looks something like this one as well. I think it's a real world asset play, but for whatever reason, it's kind of stuck around here. 25 million market cap, 2.6 million volume. Curio governance, 4 million market cap. I don't like the 41,000 volume. So Astral AI is another one that I put on my watch list. 29 million volume, only 18,000. I mean, 29 million market cap, only 18,000 volume. So, you know, doesn't speak to me, right? Although it could speak to you. You know, all these things, this is not like an exact science. It is art as well, you know, and it has to speak to you as well. Okay, just because it speaks to me doesn't mean it necessarily speaks to you, and vice versa, right? And neither of us could be right or wrong. Okay, I mean, it just depends. Or both of us could be right, could be right or wrong. Dubs, another one. This one looks pretty interesting. But 28 million market cap, only 168,000 volume. Not that great. Octaspace, I've had it for a while. I never just really looked into it. I know some people are really bullish on it. 32 million market cap, 350,000 volume. All right. This is how I like to look at projects. If I like them, wherever I see them, whether it be on Twitter, for example, I'll put it on here. And then I'll just kind of watch it for a little while to see if it reaches out to me, if I like it. Or sometimes I look at everything and it looks really good, and I'll watch it for a little bit and then I'll start buying. All right, this one I've had on forever. Dynex DY. This is the one that I just bought today, DNX, and I'm looking at it, seeing it at 81 cents, seeing that it's having a red week, seeing that the market cap is just. The max I like to buy is 50 million, but I mean, it's just over it. So I'm like, okay. And then I look over at circulating supply. I'm taking you through my thought process. Circulating supply, I'm like, oh, all right. Looks like it's got pretty good tokenomics and it's got pretty good volume, relatively good volume, 4.8 million, not horrible. So then I'll just click on it and see what's going on here. All right, max supply. I'll go over the website, go over the Twitter, go over the Discord. I'll talk. Well, not Discord. I'll talk in the Telegram and ask questions in there, see what's going on. I'll take a look at what markets it's in. All right, Gate.io, MEXC, so Bitmart, so they are in central LBanks, so they are in centralized exchanges. How high is it? How high has it gone? 30x already from its all-time low a year ago. Okay, so that's pretty good, not bad. I haven't completely missed it, right? I'll take a look at this, see what's going on here. Okay, chart looks like I'm not buying it at tops or anything like that, so that's pretty good. And then I'll go from there, and I'll talk more in the Telegram, see how they treat me in there. And honestly, the Dynex people were pretty good. I asked some questions; they were good to respond. Here's a one-pager for newcomers. I'll go over this more next week, but I mean, it goes over exactly like a one-page, like an elevator pitch of what their project is, and I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. So I'm like, okay, based on all that, today I made the decision. You know what? It's been on my watch list for a while. I'm glad I finally looked at it. I'm gonna buy some DNX. All right, so that's kind of my thought process, and then I just nibble. I don't go all in at once, guys. Never do that. That's pretty crazy, and I'm a pretty crazy guy, but not that crazy. Although every now and again it could happen, but not just all at once. Even if I want to buy a lot that day, I would buy over hours, not again all at once. Right. So yeah, so that's pretty much what I did today. Everything else is honestly looking sideways. Let's go back to the watch list, and going through this, you can see the importance of having a watch list, because when you are looking for a new project, look, ISPO link. ISP is the ticker, 9.2 million market cap, 1.1 million volume. Right. Numbers look pretty decent, and I looked at it. It looks pretty decent, but all they do is they essentially is like they connect developers or people that do that type of stuff, programmers and coders, I think, with people looking for work. Basically, that's all they are. That's all they do. And I'm like, is that sexy? It looks pretty cool, but I don't know how sexy it is. Everything else looks good. It's just I'm not too convinced about, you know, what they're doing. You know, platform for Web3 developers. ATS platform streamlines the hiring process and empowers blockchain. Blah 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 blah. So I'm like, I don't know. Everything else looks good. It's just I don't think it's all that sexy, but it looks pretty interesting. All right, pretty good volume, pretty decent volume. Everything else looks good. Fully diluted market cap. I mean, fully diluted at 33 million compared to 10. I've seen worse, but I'm just gonna keep it on my watch list and see what happens. Maybe I hear a buzz again. Maybe it comes up somewhere, and I'm like, oh, okay. maybe I should look at it again. All right, so that's why it's important to have a watch list like this, and then just keep one. Here's another one, OPSEC. I know they've been talking about it recently. 154 million market cap, only 2 million volume. All right, so I'm like, a lot of people are talking about it and liking it, but I don't like that, so I'm just gonna keep looking. I can afford to be picky. ZKML, for example, I've heard people talking about it. 46 million market cap, 1.2 million volume. Looks all right. Maybe I'll look at it again. Aegis, 27 million market cap, only 700,000 volume. It looks all right. Looks okay. Maybe I'll look at it. Conducts, Good Games Guild. All right, just a bunch of different projects that you can have on your watch list. Not necessarily get in them, but familiarize yourself with them, you know, and change it, add, subtract. You know, if there's ones that's been here for a while and you're just not looking at it, it still doesn't speak to you, get rid of it. Why waste time, you know? So that's the importance of that. Having a watch list and keeping an eye. Obviously, I think TradingView, if you can get a TradingView, get the charts and everything, so you can watch that way. I think it's also important. It gives you a really good idea of what exactly is going on visually. You know, prop bases start moving up, another real world asset place, but a lot of the other ones, right? The rest of the market is kind of just sideways, just kind of waiting to see what Bitcoin does. Although really, while Bitcoin is consolidating, other altcoins should start popping, but we'll see what happens. We're gonna leave it there, guys. All right, it's just kind of one of those days where we finish the week, kind of go over a few things, but BTC has been doing what it does because the ETFs, partly to do with the ETFs being having a slow week. But let's see if that changes next week. Let's see what happens. Although I still maintain that it's still showing a lot of strength, where it's just, you know, basically range bound, right? Those RWA plays, thank God for them. Hopefully you're taking a strong look. Hopefully you're taking a strong look and waiting for some red days on them, so you can get in there if you haven't already. And the two buys that I did today, Layer AI and Dynex. LAI is the ticker for Layer AI, and Dynex is DNX. All right, guys, we're gonna leave it there. If you can, please like, please subscribe, please leave a comment. I'm trying to grow this channel, and that would really help if you guys can do that. And have yourselves a great weekend, and I will talk to you guys. See you guys Monday. Have a good one. Peace.